mad at me like I control the gambling system in America. I'm gonna send y'all the states and everybody online. We're trying to get in every state possible. But if you gotta take a little hour drive to get on the app, it's all good, man. It'll be worth it. But we're trying to get in many states, underdog that is, as possible. I'm working on it. Niggas be coming at me like I'm the CEO of Underdog, like, yo, what the fuck, my nigga, I can't bet in this particular state. So we tell you what states you can bet in, and we're working on trying to get to a state near you.
Okay, so there was one game in particular that we did not discuss, and I figured why not talk about it now. So the Dolphins lost 33-8 versus the Colts. Tua had a 51.7 passer rating, the lowest of his career in a game he didn't leave early with an injury. Maurice, what has gone on with Miami? Miami is not happy, of course. So what are your thoughts?
Man, there's a lot going on. It's a lot going on in Miami. You know, the obvious thing is that they lost, and just through the media in general, they're catching a bunch of flack. And this just goes on to some of the struggles that they say with leadership with the head coach. But what seems to be gathering all of the attention down there is Tyreek Hill and just the stuff that he's dealing with off the field. And I'm just like a personal believer from being around so many championship programs that when you have like...
Oh, go ahead, Mo, man. Go ahead, now you've been around so many championship programs.
Yeah.
You try to... I mean, okay. All right.
He's a reliable source.
All right, Title Town. All right, the real Title Town. Niggas said the real Title Town. So many championship programs, man. Go ahead, Mo, my bad. I ain't mean to interrupt. Show off. Go off that nigga. Go off that, nigga. The rings and things you sing about, bring them out, nigga. I like all that. Yeah, guy, my bad. I ain't even interrupt you. Yeah, nigga. Guy, my bad. I ain't mean to interrupt you. Yeah, I see it. I
just been around some successful teams, and they operate a certain way. I'm on a very successful show, and it operates a certain way. And just like, and look, out of all people this week, Cam, you understand distractions, right?
Yeah.
Trying to do the main thing, and people be distracting you.
Absolutely.
And if you feed into the distractions, you forget the main thing. That's all I'm saying. Tyreek Hill got his own set of distractions.
Yeah, good. You've been around. You know why you've been around us for a minute. You can tell a nigga that's been around the niggas for a minute, nigga.
I'm just saying, look, we can't feed into the distractions. Tyreek Hill has distractions, and when you have the main guy who has distractions, that feeds into the organization. And then the next thing you know, you start losing, they start blaming everybody. And at the end of the day, the person who's the most notable, the person who makes the most money, and the person who's supposed to be the face of the franchise, those guys are supposed to be doing the things that lead the organization forward. And that's all I'm saying about Miami. And these small things, like I say, when you win or when you're part of a top tier organization, everything matters. And these small things off the field that the guys get into shows you that they're not focused on the main thing. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, Mo.
Mo, you're talking with the rings and shit.
Yeah, Mo. And Mo, when you get back to Ohio, tell Coach Ryan I want to wear my ring on my pinky, so I need a size 7 ring. Pause.
Well, I'm in Ohio.
I was just about to say, Murder, where's you think he at?
He's holding the rings and they ain't send me my ring, you know?
Murder, you didn't show up to the game. They over you, my nigga. You left niggas hanging for.
It's my blessing, though. If I take my blessing away, they don't win. That's what's going on in Kansas City.
Everything is your, but why Mo can give his blessing? Your blessing is better than his blessing?
No,
if it is, just say it.
Yeah, is he Killer's having a week. I'm gonna let him have his week.
Is your blessing higher than Mo's blessing?
No, it's not. It's not. It's the blessings together, just like our blessings together.
Okay,
it's
I like
not just
that.
me.
I didn't know if you was a higher power.
You thought I was the Pope. Yeah.
I was just wondering.
I'm picking that up. Yeah.
I was just wondering. Look, when it comes to this, to me, it's not even. Pardon me. To me, it's not even that simple. And this is a situation where I really hate to say this, man. For this situation, this is a situation where I hate to admit this, Sin City is right. Because me and Sin, for a year, not all last year, at least 7, 8 times, he had the argument to where, why would Tyreek go to Miami? He's on Kansas City, I'm like, he got his Super Bowl ring. Now he wants to go get his money. It be like that sometimes, even in other sports. Niggas get the ring, they want the money. Niggas get the money, then they want the ring. We see players who take less money to get on the team to try and win a ring. We see players that get a ring and then go on another team for more money to try and get the most money they can get. And this particular situation seems to be like, yo, Tyreek Hill, he bugging. Yo, you could make that money up, yada. And I used to be like, look, he got his ring. Now he wants his money. I'm not mad at him. But see, Tyreek made me look stupid because he's crying. All right, so Tyreek is making me look crazy now because of him crying. If he would just be like, man, don't worry about it. We had a rough season. We're going to get back to it next season. Cool. You finish off the end of the year with your press conference saying basically that you're not happy with the situation because you're not winning. I don't know, I'll forget what it was, what he posted, when he changed his Avi on his Twitter to Antonio Brown or something when he was leaving the field. Now this season starts off, you're not having the yardage that you usually have and everything else. And then think about this. We seen Kansas City go to the Super Bowl and I believe win a Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill there. So you wanted the money. You wanted to go to Miami. You could still be playing with Patrick Mahomes right now. You chose this scenario because you wanted your money. And I'm not a nigga to argue with anybody who wants their money. But don't cry about it. Don't complain. And we all know you want to win. But you was with the best quarterback in the world right now. Y'all niggas made miracles happen together. And you also see the decline. I don't want to use the word decline, but he's still a great player. But we see Travis Kelce getting a little bit older. This could have been potentially your team. And not saying you wasn't the number one go-to as far as receivers is concerned when you was in Kansas City. But imagine what you would be doing right now with Patrick Mahomes, with y'all chemistry, that y'all would have been building the last time. You wanted your money, you got your money, you live in sunny Florida. Don't cry about it. You got the opportunity to stay where they winning at, now that you're not winning.
So now we're kind of going to further discuss this Tyreek Hill situation. So he was actually accused of domestic violence by his ex-wife. His ex-wife claimed there was 8 instances in which she was allegedly abused by Tyreek Hill during their 17-month marriage. First alleged incident reportedly occurred in January, 2 months after the couple got married. She claimed he grew angry while discussing a post-nuptial agreement. Maurice, first question before we kind of just dive into what's going on. How much do you think these issues impact the locker room? Do you think it's mainly just with the player himself, or do you think it affects the locker room as a whole?
I just think it's noise. I just think like when you're trying to have success in general, like you just can't deal with the variables of noise. And this is like low level noise. Like when you have domestic disputes and just like nigga shit at the end of the day, I'm not to say that anybody can't have a domestic dispute with their spouse, but all of this stuff creeps into the locker room, and when you spend time focusing on the wrong things, you can't spend time focusing on the right things. And now you're having discussions about, what took place at home, or you get into it with your old lady, or just stupid shit in general, and guys don't focus on all the shit that basically helps them to make the money that they need to make all of the games. So that's my 2 cents on it. I think that it may not be like like some huge, significant distracting force, but it's just still noise, and you don't need to deal with that. It's so hard to be great. It's so exhausting to be great. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of focus to be great. And when you start spending time with some trivial nonsense, you get these scenarios.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the whole situation, I think it's very unfortunate that we're dealing with domestic violence in any sort. But I think if none of this happens, if he stayed in Titletown, this is what happens when you leave Titletown. You start going other places. You start experiencing a life you wasn't supposed to experience. This wasn't the path. Sometimes all money ain't good money. You could be in Titletown.
thing about it is Tyreek never played for Philadelphia Eagles, so he wasn't entitled to him. That's where title tail's actually at right now. So anyway, I have no idea what Mason's talking about. So he's never played for the Eagles that I know about. But as far as domestic violence is concerned, I have no comment on it because I have no knowledge on it. All I'm going to say is I don't support it and I don't agree with it, but I have no comment on that. But as far as the locker room's concerned, I don't know what to say to that because me personally, you have friends that look like me and Mace. We fuck around pause, super pause. No comment on that. But let's just, as far as locker room is concerned, you were saying that's part of it. Like you got people that you're cool with, that you play sports with, and you got people you play sports with that you just play sports with. So if it's me, Mason, Dre Dega after school or in the locker room, after locker room and everything else, and then one of them situations be on Mace or my man Dega that shit ain't true. Whether I know it's true or not, I don't agree with it. I'm just saying, I know this nigga, that ain't happening. But then if it's a nigga on the team that we not cool with, you like, this nigga.
Could be.
Yeah. So you might get my left hand five when you see the nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it depends on your relationship, but I don't support it whatsoever.
I will just add also, so it is an accusation in a divorce filing, so there have been no official charges, but kind of like how we were talking about one of the prior episodes, how these headlines do kind of overcome what's happening. So it's like, I just think in general, and it's like, I can't tell a grown man what to do, but it's just very important to like, be on your shit. Don't do anything that you know is not good to do. And I hope they figure it out because it's unfortunate because the team's already not doing so well. And then this, if it is true, that's just a terrible thing. And it just kind of adds more just bad things to your career. Like, it sucks to see somebody with so much good potential just go down the wrong path. But I don't think we want to see that in any sport. So like, I don't know if there needs to be more mentorship or something along the lines to kind of help these athletes just stay on the right track. But I mean, that is bad. We can't condone it regardless. So if that's what you choose to do, you're just going to continue to take yourself through a downward spiral. So I hope they figure it out for sure. Okay, so as far as the Colts, Daniel Jones led them to their first season opener win since 2013. Maurice, do you trust Daniel Jones?
Let's see what he got to say on this.
No, I don't trust Daniel Jones. I seen Daniel Jones when he was with the Giants, and the reason he's out of the Giants organization was because how he played. And I think that this was one to see what they had as a backup. I think they also wanted to put pressure, pause on Anthony Richardson, just to see him become more competitive and excited about playing. I know that they had reservations last year when he checked out the game and he said he was too tired and so on and so forth. But I think Anthony Richardson, him being the first round pick, will end up at some point playing the rest of the season. But I'm not a believer of Daniel Jones. I watched enough of him when he played for the Giants, and just my personal opinion.
So you don't think that it was just New York that he was not able to play well in New York?
Well, you can definitely say that, a player can succeed or fail within the system. You can definitely say that, if you go to a new city and, you have different pieces and parts around you, those things can contribute. But I never seen Daniel Jones do something that wowed me. I'm just talking about from a business standpoint. I don't see how you draft Anthony Richardson and, then you pay Daniel Jones to come in and you just keep your first round pick on the bench. I just don't see how that happens. At some point, you have to get Anthony Richardson off the bench because you're paying him so much money. At least give him a chance to have success and then trade him out. You can keep Daniel Jones, but it looks like Anthony Richardson may have the most upside and the most money invested into him. So that's why I say that Anthony Richardson at some point has to come back into the game.
What happened to Anthony Richardson, Stat?
So in his preseason game, he sustained a dislocated right pinky. And then we already know that he had that shoulder injury and just a couple of injuries since he's been drafted in the league.
Oh man, I mean this is so unfortunate. It just seemed like he'll come back. He'll definitely come back. I think they're just working their play right now. This is the best thing they could do for the team. Hopefully he comes back and this becomes a high-powered offense again. I think at this point it's very important.
Them niggas ain't know our high-powered offenses. Andrew Luck was there, and Peyton Manning. Anthony Richardson is always fucking hurt. He's never available, ever, since he's been there. Like, I'm not saying he don't got a future one day, but what fucking season are you not gonna be hurt? And I'm not one of this niggas, but look, my nigga, you played the full season ever?
No.
He's always,
He said he was tired.
That was last year, but the year before that, he got hurt. Last year, he got hurt too. Then he said he was tired because he was hurt. But then when he came back, his conditioning must not have been good, so then he was tired. And then they put Joe Flacco in for 3-4 weeks, then brought him back, and now he's back again hurt. As far as, I don't know if he's able to sustain a full season in the NFL. Now, if we're talking about this being his third season, when are we gonna see him be the future that he's supposed to be? This is 3 years in a row that there's some type of injury. So I'm not putting faith into him because he can't stay on the field. That's first and foremost. As far as Daniel Jones is concerned, I can't say if he's the answer or not. I think he had a spectacular game, but not just that he had a spectacular game. Miami had a terrible game. From turnovers, the attitudes, the headaches, the shit that lagged in the offseason, bringing it into the first game of the season. It was a good game combined with a terrible game from Miami. So we'll see next week, and I believe he'll play the week after that. And then we'll see if Daniel Jones can sustain the success that he had last Sunday. But I don't know if he's the answer right now. But at the end of the day, I don't know if Anthony Richardson's the answer either because he's always hurt.
You notice we didn't say much about Tua.
Because what are you going to talk about? He didn't do much to talk about.
I know, this is crazy.
Yeah, and this is the problem why that Tyreek Hill is having a problem with. Tua was 14 for 23, 114 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 3 sacks. Look, I think Tua just trying his best not to get a concussion, man. And that's what it basically boils down to, man. Career on the line. I ain't lying. Yo, that nigga to get enough concussion, they gonna say that's it. That's it. It's over for you, nigga. No more. So I think that's what he's more focused on more than anything else.
I think Tua comes to the locker room like, man, it was a good day. He didn't get hurt. And he's excited. And they're like, no, bro, you're not playing.
That's what matters, absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to think about this, because what you have to think about is this. In a football player's mind, they could tell you, look, it's like a boxer too. You got a boxer, right? And you see them getting beat up bad. And you're like, yo, bro, we got to stop this fight. You like, nah, nigga, don't stop the fight, nigga. I got 2 more. Like, yo, you don't see.
And they're like, no, you're out on your feet.
You don't see what I see.
Yeah.
And then you have to think about it. It's only but so many more times. And like I said, I'm a Tua fan. I think when he's healthy, he's really good. But it's only but many more times that you can have a concussion before they give up on you. Or before your family says, yo, now you're scaring us. We want you to come home and stop doing this. This happens to boxers too. You got to stop fighting, my man. Your daughter is tired of looking at you. We don't want you to have problems when you're 50, 60, 70 years old because of the damage that you're causing to yourself in your 20s and 30s. And I believe Tua is a concussion or 2 away from not being in the NFL.
And these are one of these shoulda, coulda, woulda situations because now a lot of Dolphins fans are like, we should have drafted for Shedeur. So hypothetically speaking, if that were the case, Maurice, would you have liked to see that Shedeur at Miami?
Yeah, I want to see Shedeur in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? I would like to just give Shedeur a shot in the NFL. I think that, like everybody else, you give him time, you give him real game reps and real experience, and you take out this circus show that they've made as a variable in his career, and obviously it is what it is. No pun intended, but I would like to see Shedeur just goes anywhere where he can play.
Okay. And then real quick, Maurice, before we wrap, because you didn't get to talk about that Ohio State game versus Texas, I feel like it's only right. What were your thoughts, even though I know they're positive, but we wanted to know your experience and all that there.
No, it was a phenomenal year, and I was, I had the privilege to see, Arch Manning. I thought that was cool. Hopefully, things go better for Arch and, continues to have a career, so it's kind of cool to see the young kid play inside the stadium. And I also picked up where they left off. That's what I was telling Cam. We the last 6 or 7 games prior to that, they beat top 5 teams, and so a lot of the success that we had last year, they basically continued over to this year. So earlier in the season, just beat Grambling 70-0. Grambling came up here and played hard, and much respect to them, but it looks like Ohio State is on another warpath to try to basically, go out here and win that national championship. But I'm excited for the season. I'm down there every week, and just hope that, things continue to work out and the team continues to get better.
Okay.
This nigga Mo, bro. Listen, you gonna throw Grambling in the black on black crime like that, nigga? You gonna do that to the HBCU just to throw it out there? She asked you about Archie Manning, you gonna throw Grambling that you smacked them niggas 70-0. That's fucked up, Mo. You know damn well they trying to get it together, but you gonna throw that shit out there that you beat Grambling 70-0. You let niggas know it ain't no games this year with nobody. HBCU, blue collar, whatever the fuck, blue blood. Niggas applying with everybody. Y'all on a repeat mission. To throw Grambling in there, I feel that was some bullshit. That was fucked up, Mo. But listen, man, go ahead.
Listen to me. I got a show coming out, and the show is called Start With The Facts, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to start with the facts. That's it. And so whatever I say, you start with the facts. And so if the facts are the facts, we beat them 70-0. I'm not bragging. I'm not being humble. I'm just saying, hey, that was the facts of the situation. That's it.
I ain't mad at you, nigga. Talk that shit, man, because listen, that's when it's time to talk. But I like that title, Start With The Facts, and make sure you let everybody know when it's, we'll let everybody know when it's about to air and so on and so forth. We're looking forward to the show. But back to the original question, look, man, Texas came in ranked #1. Archie Manning was just, he's a Manning nephew, son, grandson, one of the Manning football royalty. He stunk it up. They didn't look good. Of course, they was on the road, so they didn't play that well. It's not easy to play with them in Columbus. But he stunk it up. And when you're the #1 team in the country and you're supposed to be the #1 quarterback in the country, I don't know if that was a drink or not. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. You lost and you did ready to return. You did not play good. And, I wasn't going to act like I was disappointed. I've been giving Mo a hard time, pause, because he gave Murder his t-shirt before I got my t-shirt. So I've been fucking with niggas about like I'm not Ohio, but I really am Ohio. I'm happy that they won. But I told Mo, me and Mo was having a little back and forth online. And I'm like, Mo, don't act like y'all killed niggas. That's what I'm saying. This the shit I'm talking about, Murder. He want to go 70-0. But they didn't play that good against Texas. They don't act, they wasn't world championship Buckeyes against Texas. Y'all won the game, but don't act like y'all killed them. So you want to bring Grambling in to make up to say, okay, we snuck away with a win week 1. But let niggas know we beat the HBCU by 2 million points. It was okay against Texas. Y'all won, which mattered. Y'all didn't look that great. Now the MVP of that game is Patricia. These niggas got the defensive coordinator of the fucking year coming from the NFL. And they put the clamps on them motherfuckers in Texas, and obviously they put the clamps on Grambling as well if they didn't score any points. How much did Texas score? 7 points, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when y'all played them. So you got a total of 7 points in 2 games with that Ohio State Buckeye defense, man. Patricia, he getting that check that he deserved to get right now.
Yo, he sound like he's starting with the facts, Mo.
Are you Ohio? That's your team too.
I know, but I can't. I go with the facts.
The thing about it is this, man. I'm really a Buckeye, man. Y'all niggas Florida Gators when it's convenient. You know, Miami, anything Florida for murder when it's convenient for Florida. You know what I'm saying?
I can't do this right now.
That's what I'm saying. Anything convenient. I don't even know Milwaukee. I don't even know how Mace got to Ohio. I've never even been on the route. That's not even part of your route.
Mo invited me. The people invited me, Killer. I sent my blessing.
And you let him down.
And I sent my blessing.
Just let him down.
I was there in spirit.
Oh, no.
The spin cycle's wild. Machine shaking.
He was there in spirit. It's crazy.
Well, y'all, that is all the time that we have for today, Maurice. It was a pleasure to have you back.
Word up, Mo. Thank you, man.
For real, Mo.
Thank y'all for watching, and as always, it's what it is.
What you want, nigga? Everything, nigga, super size. 2 Big Macs, like when they doing them 2 for $5.
Can you smell it in the air, folks? It's Nintendo Direct season. We, of course, earlier this week talked about the potential for a Nintendo Direct to be taking place this week, and lo and behold, early this morning, Nintendo did indeed confirm that a Nintendo Direct presentation will be happening this Friday, September 12th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So I kind of want to talk about the Direct itself, what I expect to be there, and, you know, just kind of have some fun with some predictions with this Direct, and also give you guys the information about the Direct itself, because I do think there are some things we can take away from this. So if this is your first time on the channel, hit that subscribe button, be sure to like the video, and share it around if you enjoyed it. Now, first and foremost, when it comes to the Direct taking place on September 12th, you might remember a YouTuber by the name of Switchforce said a couple of weeks ago that it was going to happen on September 12th, and it looks like he was spot on with this. So shout outs to him, give him credit for accurately having the date of the event, and I think that's now someone you could kind of look at and potentially get information from when it comes to stuff like upcoming events. He obviously has a good source now, and that source seems to be giving him information. So, you know, shout outs to him. Spot on with the date. So I'll be interested to see if some of his other predictions of things like the 7 games or whatever, I'm not quite sure what that's all about, but I guess we'll find out on Friday. Now, this will be taking place, like I said, at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and this is actually a general Nintendo Direct. There was some speculation whether or not it was going to be a Mario 40th Anniversary Direct, but in my video Sunday, I pretty much said, you know, I don't think that's really the time for it. You can kind of tease something if you want to, or even talk about the Mario stuff if you want to during this Direct presentation, depending on how long it was going to be. Of course, there was also the speculation that it could have been a Metroid Prime 4 Direct. Once again, I feel like that's something that can be done at a different time, because when you look at the Nintendo Switch 2, there are some, you know, interesting discussions to be had about both third-party and first-party games. Now, as far as what is going to be at this presentation, I'll kind of start off with the soft stuff, the things that I think everyone kind of expects to be there, and then we'll get into some crazier stuff as we go along here. Now, I think right off the bat, we're going to learn about Metroid Prime 4's release date. I think that the time has really kind of come and gone to learn when this game is going to come out. It's still allegedly a 2025 game, and if that is the case, it's time to announce that release date. Like, I feel like everyone has been patient enough. This game is 8 years in development at this point in time. Go ahead and lift the veil on that. And if you have more stuff to show off, like online multiplayer, I know this is just wishful thinking at this point in time. There's not going to be online multiplayer, but there might be. And if there happens to be some, I will be a very happy boy, because I enjoyed Metroid Prime Hunters way more than many other people did. But it's time to talk about the Metroid Prime 4 release date. Other games that should have release dates here are Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade and Elden Ring Tarnished Edition. Now, I think Final Fantasy VII Remake looks really good. Elden Ring, I don't know. I still think it looks pretty jank, a little bit crusty on the edges. I mean, Bandai Namco hasn't exactly been lighting the world on fire with their Switch and Switch 2 ports of games. However, when it comes to these two games, we do know that they are 2025 games. They were available to play at PAX West on the show floor, and we still don't have release dates for those games. So I think it's safe to say that we'll get release dates for those games as well. As, I mean, if they are indeed 2025 games, it's time to start talking about them. As far as the Mario 40th Anniversary stuff, you know, I think there could be something here for that. You have to remember, this is a 60-minute presentation, which I believe is the longest Nintendo Direct, like, ever. So there's going to have to be some stuff that takes up a longer period of time than other stuff, and I'm sure there'll be some deep dives into some other games and stuff like that. But I feel like if you're doing 60 minutes and this also happens to coincide with Mario's 40th stuff, you could also talk about some Mario stuff during this. I'm not honestly expecting all that much crazy stuff. Like maybe a Super Mario Wonder DLC and like a Switch 2, maybe a Switch 2 version of Super Mario Wonder or something like that, whether that be one that has paid additional content or just free additional content or free graphic upgrades or something like that. I think that's kind of a safe bet as far as what Mario game kind of gets a little bit of a, Bowser's Fury sort of treatment with this. Could there be a compilation of Mario stuff? Maybe, maybe not. Like, I just don't know where you would go quite with that. I guess you could do some 2D Mario stuff because it seems like the 3D stuff is kind of tapped out. Kind of do it alongside of Mario Wonder, but that's something that is definitely worth taking a look at, and I think could be potentially happening at this event. And then really the doors are open. Like after that, like I feel like that's where things kind of get crazy. Now there have been lots of rumors about games. We've talked kind of a bit about like the Resident Evil games and where are the Resident Evil games, since the RE engine obviously runs very smoothly on the Nintendo Switch 2. Well, yesterday, Dusk Golem actually, who is a leaker of Resident Evil stuff, sometimes is accurate, sometimes not so much, did say that they have heard through grapevines that like all of the Resident Evil games are coming to the Switch 2. Games like Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil Village, 2, 3, 4. Great. Bring them all on. Like, I don't understand why we're dilly-dallying with this. And if you need to do them at lower price points because those games are older games, like $40 a pop, maybe have some collections or something. Like I would buy these all again. I would buy 2 and 3 again. I would buy 4 Remake again. I would buy Village again. I would buy Resident Evil 7 again just to see, what they're able to do with that RE engine, because all of those games are fantastic looking games, and I think they're super fun to play as well. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan as well, but it would be nice just to see the comparisons, because I feel like we're kind of at a point right now with a lot of third-party games where there is that sort of mystery. Like, is this going to be a good port or is this going to be a bad port? And, when you have companies themselves that are, releasing some good ports and some bad ports. You look at stuff like WWE 2K25 versus NBA 2K26. Like 2K26 for NBA isn't the worst game ever, but it's 30 frames per second, which definitely deters a lot of people from wanting to play the Switch 2 version, whereas WWE is 60 frames per second, and these are both 2K games. So obviously some things need to be worked out and some kinks need to be ironed out, but I think that's what makes so many third-party games very, very interesting right now for the Switch 2, because there is that aura of mystery. Like, what kind of games can we expect and what level of quality of ports can we expect? I mean, Ubisoft just made Star Wars Outlaws look even better with an update in handheld mode, and like, what kind of sauce are they working with that some of these other companies aren't? Because I mean, that's Ubisoft, and they can be kind of half-assed. And then of course you have the first party stuff. What is the next big first party game? What franchises are we looking at? Could there potentially be new franchises? Could there be potentially sequels to games? A Xenoblade or a Fire Emblem? I feel like one of those will definitely be there. It seems like pretty much every direct presentation nowadays has one of those getting a bit of a focal point on it. But what about like Mario? What about Zelda? Like, people have been wondering what's going on with The Legend of Zelda. Tears of the Kingdom did come out a couple of years ago, and I don't think anyone is necessarily expecting, a Zelda game on the level of Tears of the Kingdom, but a remake or a remaster, a compilation, something like that. I mean, how often have we heard things about Ocarina of Time, getting a modernized version on the Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch 2, or HD versions of games, maybe a side compilation of like weirder Zelda games or something like that get a new coat of paint, the 2D style of Zelda stuff. I think there's a lot of different ways that they can go with Zelda stuff, but I think you gotta potentially talk about something from some of the bigger IPs. Not to say that 2025 has been devoid of bigger IPs, because you have stuff like Mario Kart, you have stuff like Donkey Kong, but I definitely think it's time to start looking at the future and kind of start laying out 2026 to keep the momentum going. Also, I think there's going to be Mario Kart World DLC that is shown at this event, or some free content for the game or something like that, because it definitely seems like the hype surrounding that game and the playtime surrounding that game is kind of nosedived quite a bit, and I think they got to do something to kind of freshen it up. But I mean, that's all I really got as far as predictions and stuff like that. It's been very tight-lipped going into this Nintendo Direct, and I think that's kind of an exciting thing. I am hopeful for third-party blowouts and, you know, new Nintendo first-party games and a release date for Metroid Prime 4. If I get that sort of stuff, like, I'm good to go. But let me know what you're expecting to see at this event in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. Of course, I will have a reaction video to the Nintendo Direct, because I don't know, I don't really like live streaming those events. I like to take my notes and, you know, all that sort of stuff. There is an Acclaim event happening today. I will probably cover that on the second channel, because there's been lots of hype and hoopla for that, and I'm not quite sure it's going to be what people are expecting it to be. So make sure you tune into the second channel for that. I'll have a link to it in the description box down below. And as always, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.
Ash Paulson!
Hello!
Hello! A Nintendo Direct has just been announced, and this is actually quite a big deal. Because in the Switch 2's lifespan, we haven't actually had a proper Direct. We've had partner showcases, indie showcases, Donkey Kong showcases, but no actual full-on Directs. But there's more to it than that. This is 60 minutes long.
Yeah, it's a whole hour. This